the biggest cricket league in the world. I think it's one of the biggest sports leagues in the world, which is quite something to have been achieved over not a long period of time. We've seen it really explode over the last few years. The performances the players put in really make them household names. And some of the foreigners coming over here get to understand a bit more about the Indian culture and also become household names over here. So it's truly remarkable. It's a great opportunity for all players, and not only players, but administrators and everyone to get involved. And I think the fans of cricket have really enjoyed it over the years.
Let me ask you, at the very top, is it harder to be Mr. 360, or is it going to be harder to be a commentator and please the fans inside the commentating box?
Well, over there, Geo Cinema, we've got a fantastic team, so I really feel at home. It's not an individual sport, which helps a lot. It's nice to have teammates around you, and we have a lot of fun, and that's also part of our strength over there. We are still cricket players. I still feel like I just played the other day. So that's the way we commentate as well. We really give the fans and the audience a bit of a insight of what it feels like to go through those moments, the pressure moments, what it feels like in the change room, what it feels like to lose and also to win. And I think that's what makes it really special.
But are you nervous about commentating more than when you were going out to pad up?
I don't think so, to be honest. It's a lot less pressure. You just sit there and you watch the players make the mistakes instead of yourself. It was very nerve-wracking to walk out there to bat. Luckily, when I had my bat in hand, I started relaxing a bit, but the build-up was always really terrifying.
Do one thing, take your bat in the commentary box as well.
I should, sitting next to Brett Lee.
Yes. Brett, I was going to come to you. How has that journey been for you? What are the adjustments you had to make as a player to a commentator?
Well, firstly, Namaste, Keso. It's great to be back in my, my second country. The adjustments, look, it's obviously different going from being a player than going up in the commentary box and working on the game. But the thing is, we're very lucky that we all have played, the game and now get to talk about the game, which we love. So it's so humbling as a former player to get out there and, as AB said, to watch other players and see what they do, the mistakes that they make and how they can fix the game. But for us, it's a lot of fun. We're sitting with mates that we've played against, mates that we've played with, and it's still like you actually get the feeling like you're still there playing, but we're not warming up and we're not doing the stretches. If he's Mr. 360, which he is, I think I might call myself Mr. 160. Not with my batting, of course.
Absolutely. But tell me, what is it about the IPL that clicks so well? And what is the impact that you have seen, both as a player and now, from outside the boundary line, that this league has made in world cricket?
Look, I think what the Indian Premier League has done, it's actually brought a lot of different cultures a lot closer together. And my first, couple of years, my first 3 years, I think it was playing for Kings 11, the Punjab Kings back then. And seeing how different guys prepare. Like you got guys from South Africa, obviously players from India, from all over the world, and just the different preparations that they go through. And I think it's brought the cricket nations a lot closer together. It doesn't mean that we don't, when you get the chance to play against them on a national scale, that camaraderie's still there, that passion, that aggression's still there, but it just transcends and actually finds a way to take that angst out of the game. And that's what the Indian Premier League has done. It just gets better and better and better. I always joke around and say that the hardest part about playing in the Indian Premier League wasn't necessarily the training and the bowling, it was the after parties and trying to recover from that. So that was a lot of fun. It's changed though.
Spoken like a true player.
It's changed.
I think a few cricketers have said so. But Aakash, speaking of the IPL and its success, I do want to broaden this to the format itself. We've had a lot of conversations and Brett and AB can weigh in on this as well, along with Anjum. There's been a sense that the T20 format in itself is a bit threatening to other formats, particularly the classical format of Test cricket. Do you sense that there is a concern? I mean, the BCCI recently incentivized monetarily for players to play more Test cricket. What does that tell you? And is there a concern?
Good afternoon, everyone. And actually, these two guys, for everybody's consumption, their Aadhaar card is already made, and we are linking it with their bank accounts as well. So that they're as Indians can be. But when you talk about the T20 cricket threatening, I think there is a possibility of everyone to coexist. This was the threat way back in 2008 as well, when the tournament was first launched. I was one of those skeptics that it may actually eat into Test cricket too much. Nobody would want to play Test cricket and all of that because I was still that old school and couldn't play like AB, of course. Not many of us could. But it has still coexisted. Let's be fair. On Geo Cinema and Sports 18, we were covering the Test series that just got concluded. It was India versus England, absolute top draw, where contests were very keenly contested. Two quality teams going at each other. There is a lot of charm there. Yes, it is under a bit of pressure, but pressure is good. All cricketers will tell you that we need to thrive under pressure. If you buckle and you disappear, I mean, bad luck. But Test cricket has survived 150 odd years. So there must have been a few other existential crises that may have come up earlier, but it has survived. BCCI is doing its bit. It's not just, they've added actually 45 lakh rupees, up to 45 lakh rupees per game, in addition to the 15 lakh that you get. So it's about nearly, what, 80,000 US dollars for a game of cricket, which is phenomenal. See, India will continue to do its bit. Australia is, again, very keen to play Test cricket. South Africa is facing their own set of challenges, and we don't mean to look down upon anyone because all of us are very different. We have our own challenges. But I do feel when you talk about Test cricket, like we are doing at the IPL, and you will see it on Geo Cinema throughout, we celebrate this festival of cricket for the next 2 years. But we take Test cricket equally seriously. And that's how we did for the last 5 weeks when England were here. And it will thrive only if the three big boys at this point in time, India, England, and Australia, sorry, AB, they keep investing in it, and they keep actually funding the T20 money should start funding Test cricket. At some stage it will happen. It is already now visible in Indian cricket when you talk about those $80,000 per game. So that might just be the road ahead, because anybody who's played the game, anybody worth its salt will tell you that Test cricket is actually the pinnacle of your skill set, or skill set being challenged. So I'm sure it'll stay maybe in a slightly different form and shape, but it'll be there.
Anjum, lots of responsibility on respective boards to do their bit, because as we all accept, there is a bit of threat, and we need to do a little bit more. Do you sense that all boards will put their thinking caps on and put their hands together?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. If I didn't say it, then I would have been singled out. So I rather say good afternoon to everyone. So I think, look, for the women cricketers, it's welcoming sign if we can continue to play Test cricket. And since India has won, the good part is that India beat Australia and England at home. So the fillip of hosting more Test matches has come about. We will be hosting South Africa in a couple of months down, just after the IPL. So that's important. But I do feel that Test cricket cannot die. So it's like what Aakash said. When T20 came in, no one will play Test cricket. But it's like a wheel, like this Rising India wheel that we're all a part of at this point of time. It will come around, and I think it's obviously the English cricket board, Australian, Indian, South African, New Zealand, all these cricket boards will need to do their bit. They will all come around. It's all about investing at the right time, at the right place.
But AB, certainly the modern cricketer, do you sense faces a different dilemma when it comes to choosing their career path, which is why we're having to incentivize a little bit for them? I mean, different choices that they have to make vis-a-vis what you had to make in your days?
Yeah, I'm quite thankful I never had to make the decision. I was always motivated just to play for my country, and whatever comes after that is a bonus, If there are any other leagues, which happened during my career. For youngsters these days, it's really not an easy decision, but it should be made easy for them, and that's where I'm coming from. I feel cricket is like music, and Test cricket is like classical music. It almost becomes part of you. It's an art, where T20 is probably more like rock music. It's more entertaining and exciting, but there's room for all genres to exist within music. But it comes from the administrators, the boards, and they really need to take these decisions out of their hands, or at least make it easy for them and say, you know what, it can be entertaining, it can be good for you to go and commit for Test cricket. If you want to play T20s, no problem, there's your route. So I think that's the way forward.
Brett, what would you tell modern day cricketer today when it comes to these dilemmas?
Well, firstly, have fun. That's the reason why we play cricket. And I'm with AB. You know, I started playing cricket professionally 96, 97, I think it was, a long, long time ago. And you know, the choice and options weren't there. And my dream was to play for Australia, to wear the baggy green cap. So we want to make sure that any kid, any young boy or girl that wants to get the chance to play Test cricket can have that opportunity. I think across the board, though, what would have to happen in order to make it work is to make sure that the players get paid the same amount of money, whichever country that they're playing for. And if we can do that and bring different nations up to speed that aren't getting paid as well as they would in a T20 format, whereas it's the IPL or you know whatever format it might be, that might encourage the young boys and girls then to go back to play, I guess, more cricket. So maybe, yeah, it's up to the boards to get more funding in order to look after their players coming through.
I'll just add one small bit, and that's where I think broadcaster can and has played a role. Of course, we've spoken about the players, how can they be incentivized, but this is what we actually did it. Make it accessible to everyone to watch it for free. There are countries where it is not on terrestrial TV, and then you don't get to see it at all. If you don't see it, you're not going to be encouraged to play it. So the last test series, I keep referring to that event, India-England, wonderful test series, but it was also available on everyone's mobile. Go wherever you watch. Bring people into the stadium, don't charge them a penny, just bring them in. Because if they watch their heroes play only in colored clothing for their franchise or for their respective countries, that's what they want to be. And if you want them to play Test cricket, expose them to Test cricket, and suddenly they'll fall in love with it. Yeah. So that's something that responsibility also lies with us from a broadcaster point of view, that make it entertaining, make it innovative, and make it accessible, because that's important.
You know, speaking of broadcasting, Aakash, I don't think it would be unfair to say to anybody else that you are the most popular Hindi commentator in India and the world. What Aakash has managed to do with his YouTube channel plus your signature brand of Aakash Vani is absolutely phenomenal. So kudos on that. But you know, you, unlike us in news, get very real-time feedback. What is the biggest feedback you've received when you do this and interact with audiences? What has been the learning, the biggest learning?
Well, firstly, thank you so much. She's been too kind. See, feedback mechanism is a fantastic thing. Where do you get it from? And that's what I think digitalization has actually been a game changer. If you were always been on linear TV, for example, if you're on linear medium, how would you know what works, what doesn't? It is just between a group of people deciding, oh, this is nice, and that is perhaps not nice. But when you are on a digital medium, I think feedback is almost instant. You get to know if people are tuning in, going out, when they actually tend to drop. And now you obviously are deeply ingrained in the digital space as well. So metrics have changed quite a bit. And I also feel actually that digital medium is empowering people. Previously, you didn't have a choice. Now, when you consume any sort of content on digital medium, you have the choice. You're not sitting in a group of people and watching something on linear TV with a remote control being with somebody else. You're not forced to do anything. If it's on your mobile phone, you decide what you want to watch. And if the person who's watching is empowered, then it's our duty to engage him and engage him or her for a significant period of time. Because if we are failing to do so, then there is no hope. And that's where, now when we talk about the IPL and what we did at JioCinema, it can only happen in a digital space where you got 17 feed with 12 languages. And only at a click that you decide. So do you modify what you're doing immediately almost, realizing, okay, you know, we need to do something different? You do, actually. You take feedback if it's available, if it's there, you watch it and you say, okay, fine, this is clicking, this may not be clicking. Pop culture references, the new age Gen Z things I may or may not relate to personally because of the age. But my kids do. So you listen to them all the time and you respect them a lot more because they are the ones who are giving you their time. And if you don't value it, I think it's not going to fly. So, and very empowered audience has to be engaged entertainingly enough for them to stay with you.
I think the other thing too on GeoCinema and the great thing that we have as broadcasters is that, you know, we do things a little bit differently. You know, when you look at other different channels and stuff, everyone can see the cricket, you know, they can see the ball going to the boundary, they can see the reason why it's gone to the boundary, but what we bring is a different insight from past players, different education, you know, the reasons behind playing that shot, the thought process that goes behind playing that shot, and we've got more time to explain it, I think, between balls, and that's, I've done both. I've done, you know, the live feed where we've done things, and I've done stuff last year with GeoCinema. It's very, very entertaining because we, you know, bring a different style of broadcasting to the team, and yeah, it's been heaps of fun.
You know, Anjum, one of the biggest innovations was different languages. I mean, India is a country of, you know, tens of languages that people speak, and the experiences that people have had with so many different languages, commentary now available online, is a huge revolution. I mean, what is the difference you noticed in the way the audiences were pulled in because of language alone?
A taxi driver was watching IPL on JioCinema in Bhojpuri language.
Yes.
So I had to ask him what is the score because he was consuming that content and he says it's brilliant. Then one fine day I was like, do you only watch cricket in Bhojpuri language? He says, no, friends of mine and actually watch it in Punjabi language also. So there I was in a more comfortable space because I do understand Punjabi. But it's the fact, like what the gentleman have just mentioned about consumption of content, if it's available in a very much relatable language, which is the first language for many people, be it Bhojpuri, be it Bengali or any other language, if it's more relatable and it's also said in a very funny way as well, because it's at the end of the day, it's entertainment. It's not a product which you consume with a lot of seriousness. Seriousness is for the cricketers because we play, but not for the audience. So I think the way that JioCinema has brought about different languages and made it more accessible, as Aakash mentioned, and you know the entertainment value. That's why we see the product so successful.
Who here would have thought that you would have commentary in Bhojpuri one day for cricket? Raise your hands. Did anyone see this coming? No. In Punjabi? No. Right? That's the difference that has happened today, isn't it? Aakash, I mean, it's been a revolution.
Well, there is Haryanvi this year because people were asking for it, that, you know, this is far more entertaining.
What are the requests that are coming in?
Oh, lots actually, I'll tell you. So there's our Punjabi commentator goes by the name of Sunil Taneja. He's very popular. People in Pakistan, and I met them, they said, we are watching him via VPN. I was like, wow, okay. Because it is so
Punjabi
popular.
is spoken very popularly.
Yeah, it is spoken
in
very
Pakistan.
well. Yeah, it's spoken there. So, see, I'll tell you, sport is a very strange kind of content piece that you can consume on mute. Let's be fair, if it's there, you don't even have to switch on the audio to know what is happening. The audio is based only on your preference. If it is entertaining enough, I want to listen to it. I've got a teammate, he comes from Khurja. So I asked him, अच्छा तुम्हारे गांव में क्या होता है? तुम क्या commentary सुनते हो? कह रहा सर म्यूट पे सुनते थे. हम तो क्रिकेट ही म्यूट पे देखते हैं. We don't watch it with commentary because it's English. They don't understand it. See, there is no disrespect, but if it is the language that I don't relate to, I don't understand, I might as well watch on mute. But the moment I give you the language preference, the language that you speak in, the world opens up. It's far more entertaining and engaging in the end.
Yeah, and you know, AB, it's not just about languages. It's also about capturing audiences that maybe were, I wouldn't say neglected, but felt neglected. I mean, you have a YouTube, a YouTube show of your own, and you were seen on a show with Mrs. de Villiers one day. So it's also about getting people involved, people generally that you wouldn't have spoken cricket with, isn't it?
Yeah, with a YouTube show, I learned from the best over there. Eh? It's not so easy, but I do enjoy it. It's nice to stay in touch with the cricket audience, and that's the idea behind the YouTube show, is to keep sharing what's on my mind about the cricketing world and some other stuff as well. But yes, once again, with our JioCinema feed, we have the Hangout feed, which is quite different. And I was on that show with my wife, and I also got educated in that show, to be honest. She told me that, no, this one time when KKR played RCB, and I'm obviously a RCB player, she actually supported KKR. And I was like, excuse me, what's that all about? She said, no, Shah Rukh Khan is one of my favorite guys. I said, so I also learned some stuff on there. But I think the audience really relate to that. It's something different. It's something about my personal life and everyone's personal lives. And we get some of the players on there as well. I think Virat's been on, a few of the younger guys get on the show, and we just talk about different things, not only cricket. And yes, there are die-hard cricketing fans out there, but there are also fans that want to know a bit more and not just cricketing stuff. So I think from that point of view, I think Jio Cinema has done it incredibly well.
There's also Brett 4K, there are hero cams, there's so much technological innovation that is going on. Does that boggle your mind sometimes to see so many different
And that's just
feeds?
up in the commentary box. on the field, it's good as well. Nah, look, it's it's to see cricket in a different light where it's so close and so realistic now, and the camera angles and the clarity that you can watch with now is fantastic. You know, you mentioned 17 different languages. I reckon there's 18. There's Hinglish as well. We should put Hinglish in there as the 18th. Which
and
we
Brett
try
would do well in that. Brett can speak a bit of Hindi.
Thoda Hindi, thoda.
We are teaching him to be on Hindi feed this year.
Hindi, Punjabi, we'll have a crack at everything, right? Sashri Kalji up the back there. Nah, look, it's so exciting. We are on the the eve of the Indian Premier League starting. Great to be part of Jio Cinema. It's a lot of fun. We want to bring a different product. People are enjoying it, and life is pretty good.
Yeah. Speaking of the IPL, I should mention, Anjum, the WPL just finished. This project has been a revelation of sorts. Of course, we knew the IPL was already successful, but there was a little trepidation with the WPL launching a couple of years ago. Are you surprised at all with how well loved this product has already become?
Day one, I was surprised. I think at the launch of the WPL, which was in Mumbai last year, and the stadium was full in Navi Mumbai. And I remember talking to Zahir, and he was like, wow, this is brilliant. I said, now Zahir, can we sustain it? Because of course, Jio Cinema is showcasing it. It's going in digital. It's going on different languages on digital as well. He says, look, how the cricket is played on the park will determine the success of it. Of course, rest is history. Cricket was entertaining. And I was surprised looking at the numbers even after season 1 and now after season 2, that some of the best cricket played at the global level, we have surpassed those numbers, which means the content is consumed by more than 10 million people. I'm not comparing it to any of the World Cups right now, but then if our Indian product can deliver a hit like this, then I think we've done really well. And that's exactly what we wanted. We wanted the WPL to succeed. We wanted cricket to be showcased, brought to them as easily accessible as it was and is, and women's cricket to be right in front of them. So I think for me, it's perfect because WPL just supersedes or precedes IPL. And if Bangalore team wins it, it's entertaining like this. Why not?
I was going to come to AB. AB, the girls have finally done it. When are the boys going to do it?
I think it's destiny. It's honestly the girls did it now, and in a relationship, the guys got to come to the party now. It's just how it is. I do think the shackles are broken. I think this is it's meant to be for the guys.
I don't mean to pull your leg, but every season we say this is going to be RCB's season.
You've heard it before, right?
We've heard it before.
Maybe the change of name, though. The change
Bengaluru.
of name,
They've become
the
Bengaluru.
change of colours on the shirt colour. Maybe this is the year.
But just to come back to the WPL quickly, what I really enjoyed is we know the final was in Delhi.
Yes.
And we saw the footage of the streets of Bengaluru going absolutely crazy. Fans filling the streets, and it just shows you how far the WPL has come.
At the toss, you couldn't hear anything what the captain was coming back to you with. So it was that kind of fan following. And for us also, for all the broadcasters, for us also it was an eye-opening because those RCB fans are everywhere. And it's such a nice thing to see the stadium being full.
No, I feel for the RCB fans, and I think it's good to have them this win. But do you really genuinely feel, AB, this could be RCB's year? I know you will be a little bit biased, but who looks like a good title contender?
I really do believe we can win it. We will win it this year. Look, you got to be patient. Sport is a funny thing. Cricket is not predictable, otherwise it would have been boring. So maybe once the shackles are broken, and I really think the women, sometimes things just happen in a weird way. I think the women have broken the shackles, and once the RCB men's team get one win, I think there's going to be quite a few back-to-back. So yeah, hopefully we go from strength to strength this season.
Brett, do you agree?
I was actually going through the list of teams, the 10 franchises, and I, not because he's sitting next to me, but I actually think RCB have got a very good chance this year. Yeah, I would not back against them.
Well, they always have a very good chance. When do they not have a very good chance? They've always got a good team.
They have arguably had the best side for a number of years, but you know, maybe different ways where they're playing, and maybe too, over here in India, there's a lot of superstitions. The change of the name, the change of the colour of the clothing. This could be their year.
No, but AB, what did hold RCB back? Like, I'm sure there were plenty of discussions around this because it had a superstar team, including yourself, for so many years.
There were 9 other star teams as well, you know. It's just, you look at World Cups, I mean, any team can win it. The IPL, actually, even more so. There are 10 incredibly
But most other teams have won it.
Well, there are quite a few that haven't won it too, you know.
We are sitting in Delhi, don't forget, huh?
Don't remind me about Delhi.
Let's not go there.
I know Anjum, Aakash and I suffer because of the Delhi thing. But was there something, or it's just how it goes sometimes?
It's just part of sport. It's not predictable. We gave it our absolute best, lost a couple of times or 3 times in the final. We had our chances here and there, so we got ourselves to blame. But hopefully, and I mentioned it to you before, hopefully the legacy over the last few years that the senior players or the guys who have left already have left behind will carry the team across the line in the years to come.
Aakash, what is the Aakash Tippani and the Aakash Vani on this season's title contenders?
See, I think firstly Smriti will go to the men's dressing room and give them a pep talk. That's what should happen. They gave her a beautiful guard of honor yesterday, I was seeing, and it was beautiful. On a serious note, I do feel, all teams are fairly good, and I agree with AB. There's just a lot more to it than having a good team which results in lifting the trophy. When I just put all teams together, Mumbai Indians is standing out. They are a very good team. So I'd say it could just be the Mumbai's year once again.
Anjum, for you?
And also keep Delhi in the mix as well.
We do keep Delhi in the mix every year.
Delhi in the mix. They're just around, and RCB can jump from there as well. So don't put more pressure on AB. He's not playing. He doesn't have to hit those shots around the ground. But I'm sure as long as IPL is entertaining and we can see all that entertainment in different languages on Jio Cinema, why not?
AB, will you go to the dressing room maybe? Catch up with the old guys and, I don't know, talk to them?
Listen, you're asking me a lot of questions now. Eh? She's putting me under big pressure. I would love to. I have been in touch with some of the players. They have a new coach in Andy Flower. Some things have changed over there, so maybe a bit of a fresh start for them. So I've decided just to sit back and wait. If I hear from someone, I will very much be open to have a conversation with the guys and give them whatever knowledge I have. But I do feel there's so many world-class players in that team for this season. They're going to be just fine.
All right. So, you know, we have on the panel members of the cricket world who've done what they did with the bat and ball. And then, you know, they have other talents. We all know about Brett Lee's musical talent that has been flourishing all through his cricket career, but also, especially post that, we know about your love affair with India as well. We've got YouTube content creators in AB and Aakash and commentators par excellence. But you are here, Brett. I do want to ask you. You want to hum something nice in Hindi for us?
In Hindi? Hame tumhara hun, tumhare hi rahunga.
Put it in music.
What was that?
That was a little cheesy love song I wrote in 2006, and I sang it. I had the pleasure to sing with Asha Bhosle.
I remember that.
And it was funny because I used to go to the ground and I'll be there playing, whether it be in the Indian Premier League, and to think that I'll be out there running in the bowl and they'll be singing the song that I wrote, which was quite fun.
I know that AB loves Hindi songs too. You were humming some on your YouTube channel. Hum, please, sing.
I'm a shower singer, you know. I keep the stuff in my head.
But what is that favorite song of yours?
I'm definitely not going to sing on live TV, all right? But I do know a few, but I think...
Okay, tell us your favorite song.
Well, I performed with Shah Rukh Khan before. Ye dozati hum nahi
Oh, so
Very
nice.
good.
Brilliant.
Excellent.
And it sounds so very different when AB has actually sung that song, or in a little few words. It sounds so very different. Hum ye dosti hum nahi todenge and all. Very nice.
He's
Give him
he's
company.
also in Hindi commentary box this year then. He's there. Suraj ki baahon mein? No? Okay, let's leave it.
Let's leave it.
One of my favorite songs.
Mukabala, Mukabala.
Come on, Aakash, let's give him company.
No,
You start, I'll follow.
I'll have to put it on because I'm bad at it. There are two better singers here. Much better. Where is it? I had kept it somewhere.
Anjum knows that song as well.
Back after
Yeah,
a short break.
Yeah, but who's singing it with me?
AB singing
AB,
it with you.
AB,
Because
AB
it's
singing.
AB's favorite song.
So he was singing a song from the.
Who knows the lyrics?
That is a nice song.
Come on, come on, come on.
So for cricketers, basically, it's if you're not on the park, you're obviously,
With your
right now,
headphones.
of course, you're listening to music personally, but earlier days, music was loud on the team bus, and there was no option. So if it was a player who understood Hindi or Punjabi or any other language, that was the music which used to play on the team bus.
Yes.
And everyone else had no option. So whether it was a Walkman or whether it was a CD or now with the AirPods or whatever you might call it, nowadays you do have options. Earlier you didn't. So it was one of those, so Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara.
Walkman.
so-
I have
so-
not heard Walkman for about 20 years. That's brilliant.
Exactly. There was no option. You had whoever was seated next to
True.
the driver, the cassette or the CD or whatever. Yeah, was just get it.
The good old
plugged in.
days.
Yeah.
Good old days.
Final 15 seconds, Aakash. The IPL season starting in 2 days. If you were to set it up for the audiences in Hindi, how would you do it? And we'll end with that.
बहुत सारे रिकॉर्ड्स बनेंगे, बहुत सारे टूटेंगे, बहुत सारा बहेगा पसीना और होगा बहुत सारा पेन. पर यही तो सिखाया था ना कि नो पेन नो गेन. 17 का खतरा इस बार होने वाला है बिकॉज दिस इज सीजन नंबर 17 और मंच तैयार है. अब देखना ये होगा कि सरपंच कौन बनेगा. 5 बार जीता है चेन्नई, 5 बार जीता है मुंबई. Will we have a new winner in Bangalore? We shall find out.
All right. On that note, a big round of applause for our cricketers on the panel. Thank you so much, ABT, Brett Lee, Aakash, and Anjum. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Shivani. That was a very engaging discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, our next session involves a bright bunch of young and talented actors. There's always something special about generational change. More so if it involves people where the next gen is crafting its own stories in an industry where compelling storytelling is a superpower. A famous surname can give you a head start. It can also